Short. Strong. Espresso English.
Fuel your day. Let's learn.
Quick question. Are you the person who plans every hour? Or the one who just sees what the day brings?
And be honest, has a tiny change ever thrown off your whole mood before lunch?
Because that happens so fast. One change dinner time, one late train, and suddenly your neat little plan feels like it's falling apart.
Or the other side of it. You hate fixed plans so much that every invite feels heavy, and somehow your day still ends up scattered.
This is a B1 level episode, perfect for intermediate learners. Beginners, you're welcome too.
Today we're talking about that real-life tug-of-war. Plan every day, or go with the flow?
And if your calendar is already judging you, don't worry. We've all had that one day where a coffee meetup turns into a full emotional event.
Oh, absolutely. I've had mornings where a 5-minute delay made me act like the universe had personally attacked my schedule.
But here's the interesting part. This isn't just about being organized or being relaxed.
Right? It's about what makes you feel safe and what makes you feel trapped.
So if you love control, you might feel calmer when you know exactly what's next.
And if you lean towards spontaneity, too much structure can make the day feel stiff, even if the plan looks perfect on paper.
That tension shows up everywhere. At work, with friends, even in a simple, let's grab coffee later text.
And suddenly you're negotiating like it's a peace treaty. Can we do 6? Actually, 6:30? Wait, maybe Friday?
Stay with us because we're going to unpack why this happens and why one small backup plan can make everything feel less fragile.
And there's one thing we discovered. People don't just want a plan. They want the plan to match how their brain likes to breathe.
Quick 1A or B. Do you prefer a full schedule or an open day with one anchor?
Pick one in your head right now. No cheating. No overthinking.
Stay until the end for a word tour 5 expressions that you'll hear in real conversations all the time.
And later, we'll give you one tiny trick for making plans feel lighter. But first, let's talk about why this debate gets so personal. Let's start with a simple scene. You wake up, check your plan, and feel weirdly proud because the day already has shape.
And then, of course, one text changes everything. Dinner moves, your commute gets messy, and your mood gets thrown off before you even reach lunch.
Exactly. And if you're the planning type, that tiny shift can feel bigger than it should.
Because it's not really about dinner. It's about the feeling that the whole day lost its frame.
I think planning can set the tone for the whole day.
So basically, the first thing you do creates the feeling for everything that follows.
Yes, if you start with one clear anchor, the rest of the day usually feels calmer.
But if every minute is packed, one small change can throw off your energy, your focus, and even your patience.
I used to think a full calendar made me impressive.
Oh no. Was this the part where you acted like your planner was a personality?
Pretty much. Then I realized I was leaving no room for anything human. A delay, a chat, a tired brain, even lunch that took longer than expected.
That phrase matters a lot here. Leave room for a little uncertainty and the day stops feeling so fragile.
Let's make it practical. Suppose you got a meeting at 3, dinner at 7, and a friend says, "Can you meet at 6:15 instead?"
If your answer is automatic panic, the problem isn't the invitation. It's that you didn't leave room for life to move.
I love that you made chaos sound polite.
Chaos is still chaos, James, even when it wears nice shoes.
Now, on the other side, some people wing it because structure feels like a trap.
And that can work, but only up to a point. If you wing it all the time, you may look free while secretly feeling scattered.
That's such a good point. The freedom can hide a kind of low-level stress.
Right, because you're always deciding in the moment, and that decision fatigue can be exhausting.
Here's a real example. Imagine a weekend trip. One person wants a train booked, a restaurant chosen, and a backup plan.
And the other person says, let's just see what happens. which sounds relaxed until the hotel is full and everyone is hungry.
Then suddenly the fun day turns into a scavenger hunt.
Exactly. Spontaneity sounds romantic until the basics start failing.
There's also a social side. Sometimes a friend invites you out and you say yes too quickly because you don't want to seem difficult.
But inside, you're not actually excited. You're just trying to be available, and that can drain you.
So the better question isn't, am I a planner or a free spirit?
It's what do I need today? Connection, structure, or a little breathing space.
And that's where a smarter backup plan helps. This is called implementation intention, a simple if-then plan.
So basically, you decide ahead of time, if something changes, I'll do this instead.
For example, if the meeting gets moved, I'll use that time for email.
Or, if my friend is late, I'll read for 10 minutes and not spiral.
The goal isn't to control every second. It's to protect your mood from one tiny surprise.
And that feels kinder than pretending nothing will ever change.
Also, this is where being on the same page matters, especially with partners, roommates, or coworkers.
Totally. If one person thinks flexible means casual and the other thinks it means vague, the conflict starts before the plan even does.
You know what I love? A plan doesn't have to be a prison.
It can be a frame. Enough shape to help you, but enough space to let the day breathe.
And for the open day crowd, a little structure doesn't have to kill the vibe.
Right. It just keeps the vibe from turning into a small disaster with good intentions.
And by the way, there's a phrase for this exact tension. We'll break it down later.
But first, let's stay with the bigger question. What happens when two good intentions collide? Okay, James, here's the real question. Is planning actually calming, or does it just make us feel in control?
I think it calms people down because a plan sets the tone and gives the day shape before anything can derail it.
I don't buy that completely. Sometimes the plan itself becomes the pressure.
That sounds dramatic, but I think you're missing the point. Structure isn't the problem, vague expectations are.
Wait, but if every hour is booked, people don't leave room for real life.
But that's exactly why a good plan matters. It leaves room for surprises by making the basics clear.
You're treating flexibility like a bonus, but for some people, it feels like survival.
And you're treating freedom like a virtue, but some people feel lost when they wing it too much.
That's fair, but I still think too much planning can throw off the whole emotional atmosphere.
I disagree. What throws people off isn't planning. It's the sudden change that no one prepared for.
But if the plan is so tight that one delay ruins everything, then the plan wasn't strong enough.
Or maybe the person never built in a backup, which is why implementation intention matters so much.
There you go again, turning everything into a system.
And there you go again, treating systems like villains. That's a stretch.
No, I'm saying people are not machines. They get tired, distracted, and emotionally thrown off.
Exactly, and that's why a system helps. It protects your energy when your brain is already overloaded.
But if you use a system for everything, you stop noticing what you actually want.
Not if the system is simple. A plan A/plan B setup doesn't decide your life for you. It just keeps the day from collapsing.
Hold on. What about the person who feels safest when the schedule stays open?
Then we don't force a rigid calendar on them. We just ask them to leave room for one anchor, not 10.
That makes more sense, but I still think spontaneity bias is real. People often imagine freedom feels better than it actually does.
And I think need for control is real too. People often imagine certainty will fix anxiety when it just hides it for a while.
So now we're both defending the human mess.
Honestly, yes. And I'm proud of that mess.
Let's test your argument with a real-life example. Suppose two coworkers are planning a client lunch. One wants a strict agenda. The other wants it loose and friendly.
Right. And if they aren't on the same page, the lunch becomes awkward before it even starts.
Exactly. One person thinks friendly means flexible, and the other thinks friendly means prepared.
So the conflict isn't plan versus no plan. It's mismatched expectations.
Okay, that's better than your first version.
Thank you. I do occasionally develop a decent thought.
Only occasionally. Brutal.
Fair. But here's the part you keep skipping. If you wing it every day, you may feel free in the moment, but later you pay for it with stress.
And here's the part you keep skipping. If you overplan every day, you may feel efficient, but later you pay for it with rigidity.
So maybe both sides are trying to avoid the same thing, uncertainty.
Yes, but they avoid it in different ways.
The planner says, if I can map it out, I can relax.
And the spontaneous person says, if I keep it open, I can breathe.
Both are trying to manage fear.
Exactly. And that's why this debate feels so personal. It isn't really about a calendar. It's about how safe you feel inside your own day.
So here's my final case. Plan enough to set the tone, leave room for life, and use a backup when things shift.
And here's mine. Don't confuse openness with chaos, and don't confuse structure with peace.
That's a pretty good closing argument.
Thank you. I was emotionally prepared.
We should probably admit neither side wins every time.
Totally. The real win is knowing when your brain needs certainty and when it needs space.
And if this argument sounded familiar, that probably means you're in the middle of it right now.
Which is exactly why this episode matters. Because once you can name the tension, you stop blaming yourself for having it. So we've talked about the tension, the debate, and the fear underneath it all.
And now it's time to look at the actual words we use, because language shapes how we think about planning and freedom.
These 5 expressions show up in real conversations all the time.
And once you notice them, you'll hear them everywhere. At work, with friends, even in your own head.
Let's break them down, one by one.
Starting with the phrase that sets everything in motion.
Let's go back to that feeling of opening your day and hoping it stays calm. Because the first phrase fits right there.
You mean when the way you start something creates the mood for everything after it?
Exactly. Set the tone means to create the feeling or style for something.
So if I start the morning with 5 alarms and a panic sprint, I'm setting the tone. Badly.
Yes, and that image is painfully accurate. A better example is a calm breakfast set the tone.
Nice, short, clear, and very usable. A calm breakfast set the tone. That one sounds natural.
In real life, it can be a meeting, a text, even the first 10 minutes of a date.
So the phrase isn't only about planning, it's about atmosphere.
Right, and that leads nicely into the next idea. Sometimes you don't want every hour packed because you need a little air.
That's leave room for, right? It means to keep some space or time free for something.
Exactly. You might say, leave room for traffic or leave room for rest.
That one feels like a survival skill. Leave room for traffic saves lives, or at least tempers.
Definitely. And notice how it sounds flexible, not lazy.
Yeah, it's not do nothing, it's don't trap yourself.
Now let's move into the more chaotic one. The phrase for when someone has no script and just goes for it.
Winging it. That means to do something without much planning.
Exactly. You can wing a short speech, a reply, or a dinner plan when the group chat explodes.
I've winged a toast before. It sounded brave in my head and slightly unhinged out loud.
That's still a valid life experience. A natural example is, we didn't plan, so we winged it.
That one's clean, and it sounds a lot more native than we did it without preparation.
Now, winging it can be fun, but it can also go wrong when people expect order.
Which is where the next phrase comes in. Because if your loose plan gets interrupted, your whole mood can shift.
You're talking about throw off. It means to disturb or upset a plan, mood, or routine.
Right? The delay threw off my morning. That's simple, sharp, and very real.
Or her comment threw off the whole meeting.
That one has real office energy. One sentence, and suddenly everyone's pretending the laptop is fascinating.
I love that because it's so flexible. A small change can throw off a routine, or a stressful message can throw off your focus.
And it sounds natural in both personal and work situations.
The last one is probably the most important for relationships, because the whole debate collapses if two people are talking past each other.
That's be on the same page. It means to have the same understanding or expectation.
Exactly. You might say, we're not on the same page about dinner, or let's get on the same page before Friday.
Very useful phrase. It saves you from those awkward moments when one person thinks there's a plan and the other thinks there's just a vibe.
Let's do a quick mini scene. I thought we were meeting at 6.
Oh no, I thought we were just keeping it flexible.
We're not on the same page yet.
That sounds real, and the phrase lands natural.
So now you've heard all 5 in context, not as dry vocabulary, but as the kind of language people actually use.
And if one of them fits your life this week, that's your sign to borrow it.
Try one in a sentence and see how it changes your own wording.
Even small phrases can make your English sound clearer, calmer, and more alive.
So today, we dug into that push and pull between control and freedom. And it turns out both sides are just trying to feel safe.
Right, the planner wants stability, the spontaneous person wants space, and neither one is wrong.
The big takeaway is simple. A plan doesn't have to be rigid to be useful.
And openness doesn't have to mean chaos. The sweet spot is usually somewhere in the middle.
So here are 2 small moves you can try this week. First, make one plan A/plan B for a routine you already do.
Like your commute, your lunch, or your evening workout. Just one thing, that tiny backup can keep your day from feeling fragile.
Second, before you say yes to an invite, pause and ask yourself, do I want connection or do I need open space right now?
That question can save you from a lot of quiet resentment.
I used to say yes too fast just because I didn't want to disappoint people.
And I used to overplan so hard that I forgot to enjoy the day I'd built.
So yes, we're both slightly overdramatic in different directions.
True, but that's why this topic matters. Everyone has a little version of this in their life.
If you remember just one thing, make it this. Use structure to support your day, not imprison it.
And use flexibility to breathe, not to disappear into endless uncertainty.
Before you go, we want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments. Do you feel more relaxed with a full plan or with an open day?
We read every single comment. Thanks for listening, and try one small change before the next episode.
Maybe build one backup plan or leave 1 hour open on purpose.
Then notice what changes in your mood, your focus, and your energy.
Next time, we'll keep going with another everyday English tension that sounds simple, but feels very real.
Until then, thanks for spending this time with us.
Bye for now.
Bye.